Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are live. Welcome to Metaphysical Happy Hour. I'm your host, Cassie Clayton. I am here with Tracey Escobar. She is my co-host. Also, we have an awesome guest with us today. His name is Jeffrey Peck, and he is Evidential Medium. And we are just going to sit back. Come on, get comfy, grab a glass, come join us. And we're going to be talking about mediumship today.
Yes, my favorite subject, mediumship. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy to be here.
We are excited to have you too. I'm especially excited too because we get to talk about my favorite subject.
Yes.
Right?
I can talk about it all day long.
For sure. All day long. So thanks for coming. Tell the listeners where you're from. Where are you at? Where do you reside?
I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I live in Tiburon, right across the bay.
Nice.
It's beautiful. I'm inspired here. I thrive here.
Do you? Like every time I've gone to the Bay Area, I could just walk those streets all day long. It's such a beautiful, you can't turn anywhere and it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's true. It's true. Everywhere you look, even on a foggy day, the fog is so much fun. And it's a great place.
Well, thanks for being here today. I have so many questions. You ready?
Thank you.
You ready to get started?
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And then listeners, if you have any questions for Jeffrey or myself or Cassie, put them in the comments and we will get to them. But I'm going to kick it off and let's talk. Ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So here's the biggest thing that I think our listeners would want to know, because there's a misconception out there that everyone's the same. And not every medium is the same. Not all mediums are alike, is what I like to say, right? And so you call yourself an evidential medium. And so that's really interesting. I want you to kind of explain to our listeners, what does that even mean? What is an evidential medium? Can you do that for us?
Yeah. So the evidential piece in it, it's when we connect with your loved ones on the other side, it's bringing through evidence of who they were, evidence of their personality, their hobbies, their likes, their loves, evidence of conversations that they had with you, evidence of cherished memories that they hold on to so dearly. It's information that is really not Googleable. It's information that it couldn't even be out there. It's the evidence that many times when I'm bringing through a memory from mother or father or grandmother, many times I hear from the sitter, "Oh my God, I completely forgot about that." And it's just like it just like raises them to a whole new place on their insides where this was reminded. It was a reminder for them, brought through from their loved one. And so it's not just generic pieces of, I have a grandmother and she loves you. It's not. It's very
specific.
Very specific. Thank you. I couldn't find the word in my head.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, I'm an evidential medium too. I know we've trained kind of the same. We've had the same kind of path that we've trained. And so people just don't understand, right? So, we get a lot of the negative people who come and say there's no way, but I would have never done this. I'm going to just be honest. I couldn't approve what I was doing. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to prove it. Watch me prove it, right?
Completely.
Yeah, that's why I like the evidential medium part. The psychic part is good too, I think. But I don't really like to predict the future because of free will and it can change. And I don't know, but man, evidential mediumship, there's proof that I have your loved ones sitting right here, right?
Completely.
Yeah, it's such an awesome experience. So speaking of which, when do you think you started having an awareness? Because people say you're innately born with a gift or the ability, and then some people come to it through tragedy. Which is your story?
Well, I did not experience this as a child. I did not experience this in my teens, 20s. Back in 2006, I became attuned to the Reiki energy. And my mother has been living with fibromyalgia and osteoarthritis and degenerative disc disease, chronic pain for years and years and years, much like her mother before her. And Reiki was brought into my field, synchronistically.
Right.
And I was like, okay, what is this? So the practitioner explained it to me, and I thought, well, if anybody can do this, why don't I give it a shot? What do we have to lose? If Reiki can heal, it can heal the physical, it can heal the emotions, it can heal the mental, even spiritual. Well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So when I became attuned into the level 1,
okay.
The
just
side
hold
of
on. For our listeners, Reiki, what is Reiki? Just so they know.
Reiki is an energetic modality. It's an energetic healing modality, hands-on.
Okay.
So Reiki is 2 Japanese words. Rei means universal life force. Ki means energy. Universal life force energy. We're all dialed into it. When you become attuned to it with the Reiki master, it really like focuses you into that energy and opens you up in ways that you had not been previously.
Okay.
So when I became attuned that first weekend, the side effect for me was that it ignited the spiritual senses within myself. And I didn't know. Well, first of all, I had no idea to expect anything of the sort. I mean, I thought I was just going to go on my merry little way with a massage table and put my hands on people and my hands get hot, and that hopefully they would heal, wherever they were supposed to. But for me, the side effect was that it really ignited the spiritual senses. So during that first weekend with my Reiki master, the homework for the next 30 days was that I was to sit with myself, give myself my own Reiki treatment.
Okay.
For an hour every day. She told me that she wanted me to experience the energy, feel the energy, let the energy teach me, get, just really get a real sense of what it feels like and what it's about. So every day for an hour, I would do this. And each day progressively, I started to see a kaleidoscope of color. I started to sense beings with me. I started to see pictures and vignettes of movies, but I know they weren't movies that I had ever seen, and I know they weren't memories of mine, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, coming out of this day in and day out, I knew that I was not sleeping. There was no way. I was sitting upright, my legs are crossed, my hands are, here, wherever, there was no way I was asleep. But there's something was happening, and I knew I wasn't dreaming. So I talked with my Reiki master, and she just smiled and said, you're opening up to spirit.
Yeah.
You're opening up to spirit. And so, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. I just suddenly had one teacher right after another that helped me along my way. And, mediumship came into that, and here I am. Yeah.
I got goosebumps from that. And that just leads to my next question, because a lot of people don't realize the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into development, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't just wake up one day and just start doing readings, right? That's not how it happens, right?
Right.
It just is not how it happens. And I know we follow some of the same path. Can you tell us what your development was like, who you trained with, where you trained?
So, okay. Back in 2000, after I became attuned to the Reiki, I was with a couple of teachers in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. I was in Sedona every month. I went to Sedona for a weekend for probably the first 18 months. And I just went there and I sat with channelers and teachers for like weekend workshops, and it led me to, well, synchronistically, back then I loved Doreen Virtue.
Sure.
I loved her. She was amazing back then. She showed me that it was safe and okay to be spiritual and to be, this.
Right.
And so I listened to her radio show on Hay House Radio like every week. When I discovered her, I went back to all the past episodes. I listened to every single one, probably more than once.
Okay.
And one particular day, I was doing mortgages in the 2000s. That was my day job. It was very left-brained. It was so not me. It was painful. It was difficult for me. And I was sitting at my desk in my office at home, and I was just minding my own business, doing loans and whatnot, listening to Doreen on the radio, and she was getting ready to come on. All of a sudden, I felt like I had a nudge in my back. It was like somebody poked me in my back, and suddenly I knew that I had to reach for my cell phone, and I had to call Doreen. I had to call in. And so I was like, and I did. I just reached for my phone and I dialed in, and I thought, what am I doing? And it starts ringing, and I thought, okay, well, they won't answer. And all of a sudden, somebody answered, and I said, she goes, what's your name and what's your name and where you're calling from and what's your question for Doreen? And I was like, I hadn't even had time to think about what my question was, right?
Yeah.
So I just said, am I on the right path? That was my question. Am I on the right path?
Okay.
A
lot of people have that question.
Right. And Doreen comes on and she says her thing and she pulls a card, and the card was everything is okay. And then she does her little psychic piece to it. And at the very end, and I don't know where this came either. I don't know where this came from either. Back then, she would do these angel therapy practitioner courses in Hawaii, and they were like 5 or 6 days long, right? Okay. At the very end of that conversation with her, she said, or I say to her out of the blue, Doreen, I've been asking my angels for help to get to your angel therapy course, and it just flew out of my mouth. And she goes, well, keep asking, miracles can happen. And I hung up with her, and I was like, okay, wow, what just happened? Literally 15 minutes later, I get an email from her assistant who answered the phone. Okay. And her assistant told me that Doreen's angels were contacted by my angels, that she needs to get me there and she needs to have me in this 6-day course. So she was gifting me.
She gifted it to you?
It was a scholarship. And I was like, what? So I mean, literally, I just started crying. It was so overwhelming. I couldn't believe it. So this year, this was 2008. This was April 2008. That's when everything crashed, right? That was when the crash happened.
Yep.
The course was scheduled in November of 2008. Okay. It got worse and worse every month. It got worse. Mortgage companies, banks, everything was tumbling, crashing, melting down, right? Business was not coming in. It was all drying up. My credit cards were all I was running out of money. I had one credit card left with like $3,000 left on it. And that was what was going to get me to Hawaii. I got my plane ticket. I got my hotel booked. The month before I was to be in Hawaii, the credit card company slashed all of our limits because they knew that I was in the mortgage business, and all the mortgage business that was tanking.
It's tanking, yeah.
So suddenly I didn't have any space left. I had no space to go. And I was like, what is happening? And, I threw a little fit with heaven, and I'm like, why would this happen? And if I can't go? So I emailed Doreen's assistant, and I said, listen, this just happened. My limit was just slashed. I can't get out there. Maybe it's the space supposed to go to somebody who needs it more than I do. 15 minutes later, she emails me back and she says, Jeffrey, you need to get out here. Doreen had the hotel comped for you. And I was like, what? So that's how it started. When the teacher, like when student is ready, the teacher arrives, bam, I was there. It was miracle after miracle after miracle. And that's where I learned, I went out there to learn about, I thought I was going to learn about angels. And I learned everything about clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience and claircognizance and whatever the other clairs are, the smelling one, and the tasting one. And there was a day of mediumship. And this particular day, I met her in the hallway, and she said, Jeff, you're a medium. You are absolutely a medium. And I was like, what? I don't know what you're smoking, but okay. So I honestly, I was scared to pieces. I was like, I didn't know what was happening. That day, she gives us instruction on how to connect and how to surrender and let them come in to you and let the information flow.
Yep.
And in the very first, she says, get up and choose a partner to do your exercise with. And in this first exercise, I mean, I closed my eyes. I was scared to pieces because I just didn't believe it. I was like, I'm here to learn about angels. What is this? And all of a sudden, here's this little boy. He's like 10 years old. I said, there's a 10-year-old boy here. I said, I think he's your nephew. And I said, he's got basketball. He's got a lot of energy. He's running all over the place, but dribbling this ball. And she said, that is my nephew. He passed when he was 10. It wasn't super detailed because it was my first one, but he said he loved his basketball. He always had his basketball. That was really meaningful to her. And then this little gray dog went, zipping by my third eye. And I talked about this little gray, like schnauzer or terrier of some sort. And she said, that was my dog when I was a little girl, gave me this scar right here. And that's how it started for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of us have those like stories. I just feel like when you're meant to do it, spirit makes it happen.
Oh,
like
completely.
They put you in the right place at the right time and said, it's time to stop suffering. Here you go.
Absolutely. When your soul is calling for you for this work, there's no getting around it. No.
And they will make it happen.
Completely.
They open doors completely. You just got to agree to walk through them, right?
So completely. Yeah. And willingly, I just went through, I mean, green as they come.
Yeah.
Scared, like, I don't know what is happening. And I struggled with what it all meant and where it was coming from and what people were going to think of me and what I thought of me. I wasn't even quite sure what I thought. So after that, I was doing Reiki treatments on people on the outside. I, get my massage table and I drag it with me to just word got out. And during these Reiki treatments, suddenly like spirit would just start showing up. And it was unintentional. I didn't go in there fully intending.
Right.
It was just, they just started showing up. And then I had these other experiences where I'm like, I think I've got to talk about this. Do you mind if I talk about this? And they're like, yeah, tell me, and suddenly I'm talking about grandfathers and mothers and talking about their personality and, the things that they loved. And so I was bringing through evidence before I really knew what the evidential piece really meant within mediumship,
Yes. That's crazy story.
It was cool. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm getting a lot of people on my TikTok feed. What a great story that was. So yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
It inspires people.
I've been looking at the comments as they've been coming in. We actually do have a question, and I think so Amanda Lynn was asking, she asked a question earlier in the comments, and it's, can you turn it on and off? And I think it kind of goes, it actually goes along with the second question she asked. And do either of you get scared of spirits contacting you? Because I think the answer is kind of both questions kind of the same.
Yeah, I'll let Jeffrey take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've never been afraid of spirits contacting me. I've been more afraid of people here, never been afraid of anybody over there. I've been way more afraid of people here and myself, the fear within myself.
Yes.
The people on the other side, they're coming with love. They're coming in love. And yet, as far as turning it on and off, I have had experiences where, they just kind of dropped in a moment when I wasn't experiencing it, drinking margaritas, and walking around town and say a really those areas of town that are really a lot older. They have a lot of history. There's, it's just really energetically active, right? There have been times in there where I'm like, ooh, and you kind of get these little bits and pieces of, but no, I've never been afraid. I've never felt I ever needed to with spirit / God / my guardian angels / my spirit guides. I feel like I'm so protected that it's like default. It's built in.
Right. For me too. Like when I first started, I think fear is what we create. Right. And we can create this fear of things that are unknown. Right. So I just made like this pact with my guides. I feel like I have this protector guide, and he just protects. He doesn't, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm like, okay, guys, if you want me to do this work, you take care of anything that I shouldn't come my way. Like, don't bring any negative, not that I even believe in it anymore now that I've been through so much training and stuff, but that's what I feel like. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's more people here on earth and the fear we create within ourselves about things we don't know. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fear of, like, the biggest fear for me was opening my mouth, you know, like opening my mouth and saying what I thought I was getting, hoping that I wasn't making it up or coming from my, you know what, and, you know, and just, like, that was the biggest fear for me. I just like, and so you just learn, you know, just open your mouth and
people
go.
don't realize that what we go through to be good, right?
I think getting past the fear of opening my mouth was probably the biggest.
Yes.
Totally.
You don't want to be wrong, and you don't want to do the wrong thing. Yes.
You don't want to be wrong. You don't want to look dumb. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to look like a fraud. You don't want to look like, I mean, it just goes all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a big one in development, getting past the fears, surrendering, taking your ego out of it. You're not working for you, you're working for spirit, you know, all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, which actually brings us to our next question. Are the messages ever upsetting or hard to deliver to the messages to loved ones?
Well, I'm gonna, you know what? That's sometimes I'm gonna say sometimes, because I get quite a bit of trauma. I've experienced a lot of trauma in my years, and I've noticed that with all of these really intense experiences that I've lived, I get a lot of people that come through that really need to express apology. They are feeling the remorse or regret. They've got over to the other side and they realize, oh, I could have done that better, you know, or I wasn't such a nice person, or I treated this person or that person really horribly. And so when you're communicating something so sensitive, it can be difficult, because I don't want them to feel upset. I don't want I don't want to offend them, you know. I don't want to scare them. And I always tell them at the beginning of a reading, listen, if there is somebody on the other side that you did experience trauma with, you tell me you don't want to talk to him or them, that is perfectly fine. There's no feelings hurt. Nobody, everybody understands over there. You know, if there's somebody you don't want to talk to, you just let me know. It's all good. If you're okay with it, are you okay hearing everything? And then that's where I start to bring through the messages that loved one on the other side really needs to get through. And I mean, every time it creates this overwhelming healing, these tears of sadness, having, you know, experiencing those memories, but then hearing this apology and this love, where it's coming from, that they didn't experience while they were here, but within the evidence that was given to them, proving that I have who I have, including the evidence within the message that comes through. They're just, I mean, the healing is just, oh, you know, there's so many times I get off that call and just sob, because it's so humbling, and it's such an honor to be able to be that voice piece
and healing, right?
For these people who, sitting here and the people on the other side, that brings healing to both sides. It's beautiful.
And I found it heals the medium. Like, it's a three-way street.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, right.
Completely. There's a little piece in us too that, you know, that little inner child of ours that's wounded and still stuck somewhere. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Any more questions out there, Cass?
I
love it.
Yeah. Let me see.
While she's looking, what's your why? Why are you doing it? What now? Why?
You know, my why is spirit. My why is spirit. My why is it's what got me from 2006 to where I am now, where I have discovered this ability within myself, where I have this capability to express healing from the other side to this side, from this side to that side. And, my soul being so, I don't know what else I don't know what else I would do. It's as scary as this path is. What's scarier to me is the thought of not doing it. Like, it's like I feel I'm so dialed into my soul and what I'm supposed to do. And yeah, that's my why.
Speaking of that, have you left your day job yet? Have you taken the leap of faith?
My day job ended in November of 2018. So yes.
Okay. Wow. What were you before you were a medium? What was that?
Okay, so after the crash from the mortgages, in 2010, I didn't know what I was doing. From 2009 to into 2011 even. I was couch surfing with friends. I didn't know what I was going to do. Mortgages had completely changed. They all but stopped for a little while. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't know where I was going with it. I felt this drive for spirit, and I was doing readings back then. I had this little baby website, and I was doing, angel cards. I do angel readings and tarot cards. But it wasn't paying the bills,
Right.
I mean, the business wasn't coming in as fast as the bills were. And I threw a huge fit with heaven in 2011. And I just said, it was a temper tantrum from hell. And I just said, listen, I will do whatever you need me to do. I'll do whatever you need me to do. I just won't do it broke. I cannot do it broke.
Okay. Fair.
So within about 6 months, I had this opportunity where this older retired couple needed a personal assistant. I needed a job. They were on my doorstep when I needed a job. I was on their doorstep. It was total synchronicity. It was divine orchestration, actually. So for the 2010 to end of 2018, I was their personal assistant, and I did everything for them. They had 2 houses, one here in the Bay Area, one in Scottsdale, and we go back and forth for summer and winter. And I was their everything. I, ran their errands. I cooked for them. I drove them. I paid their bills. I took them to hospital doctor appointments. I talked to doctors for them. Everything you could possibly do for somebody, I did for them. And somewhere around 2015, 2016, heaven started knocking again. Heaven started knocking. And when heaven starts knocking, you can't ignore it. You just can't ignore it. And suddenly I was just ravenous for all things spiritual. Like, if there was ever if a medium wrote a book, I found that book, I read that book. If it was a mediumship TV, like Medium with Patricia Arquette, I saw every episode of that. Every episode with John Edward, every episode with James Van Prague, Teresa Caputo. I mean, I could not get enough. And I just had this little spark on my insides where I just knew that's where I was going. So after the job ended in 2018, I knew right away that this is where I was going. Within a week, I had already been in touch with Colby Rebel, and I got a hold of her. She mentored me that first month out with the psychic aspect to give me exercises to practice with, and I told her, I said, now that I'm out of this job, I'm going to Arthur Findlay. I know I am. I said, I don't know what to take or what to do or what to look at. She said, you let me take care of that. I'm going to look at the courses for all next year. And when we talk next week, I'll tell you what you need to do. So suddenly, synchronistically, again, divine orchestration, Colby becomes my guidance counselor for spirit. And so she gets on the Arthur Findlay website, and she finds the tutors that she feels that I resonate with and I match with. She said, I want you here this week and this week. They're back to back. I said, okay. I got off that call with her and immediately booked my flight, booked my courses. I mean, all that stuff. And suddenly It all intentionally started in March of 2019 when I sat down for my very first intentional practice session.
Isn't that crazy?
Awesome.
I think that's the year we probably met too, because we both had the same mentor, Colby Rebel. Yeah. So I think we met then too.
We did. We met June 1st weekend of 2019 at Colby's platform class. I had been practicing for 3 months. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. It all comes full circle, and here you are.
And here we are together.
And here we are.
Yeah. So we have another question, and it's, with proper training, is anyone able to be a medium, or is it just certain people?
You know what? Here's my belief. Okay. We are all spiritual beings. We are all spiritual beings. We are all dialed in to spirit, to our soul, to God, to our loved ones, to our guardian angels, you name it. We can't but not be. We're spirit. We all came from the same place, and we're all going back to the same place, right?
Absolutely.
So my belief is we absolutely can. Any of us can sit down, silence our minds, learn to focus, learn to surrender, learn to connect. Now, will everybody, and will everybody be James Van Praagh or John Edward, or the list goes on and on. No, because we're not all meant to be.
Right.
But we're all meant to explore this side of us, because this is ultimately our truth, who we are. Our spirit, our soul is our ultimate truth.
Absolutely. And I agree 100% with that. I'm actually writing a book right now about that. Like, you can be a medium.
Completely.
You can do it. Like, I grew up thinking you're special. You had to have the gift. So I wasted so many years of my life that I was interested in it because I thought I had that belief system, right?
Yep.
Until someone told me no. And then it took off from there. It's all I needed. Someone to tell me no, and you can go do it.
I get that. I totally get that, because that's what Doreen did for me. It was like she just gave me this permission to be who I was supposed to be,
Exactly.
And I was like, wow, okay,
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important that we talk about this and we share with people that it's not just willy-nilly. We've done some work, right? I've done 4 years of intense training.
Yes, I know.
I have cried on several occasions.
Oh, I know all too well. It is difficult. It's a really difficult journey, but it's the most rewarding journey I've ever experienced, and I really, for myself, can't imagine anything more.
Yeah. I think I have a quote on my Facebook: mediumship is the hardest thing I've ever done with the most rewarding experiences I've ever had.
Right.
Period.
True. Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
So we've got I feel like one last question, and is it just souls that have passed, or can it be past or future events?
Is it just souls that have
passed? So mediumship is just souls that have passed. Psychic readings are about present and future events, right? And you can have like visions of a future event. I would suppose people have those of like catastrophes and things, but But psychically is when you're connecting soul to soul with a person who's living, and then mediumship is soul to spirit through spirit. That way, makes sense. Is that your interpretation too?
Yeah. With mediumship, we are blending with the other person's soul. We're blending with that person on the other side. And in that blending, I mean, if you just imagine two bubbles coming together, in that where they merge, that's where the information is brought through. And I suppose at the same time with a psychic, it's similar, but the person is alive and here. I mainly do mostly mediumship right now. The psychic is coming. I'm noticing it like really popping up within my readings. Again, that unintentional thing, like the mediumship was unintentional. But yeah, that's going that direction for me as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a question that's very well. It's directed for Jeffrey.
Yes.
And it says, doing the 8 years while you were personal assistant, did the other side become quieter, or did you still hear others daily?
So that's a really great question. Really great question. The first 4 to 5 years, crickets, total crickets. It was silent. It was like I was being given this opportunity to just get my feet back on the ground. And, after coming out of bankruptcy and foreclosure and car repossession and losing everything, I mean, literally, I lost everything. I lost an 11-year relationship. I came out of that with 9 boxes to my name, and
Really?
not big boxes either. So it was like I was given this opportunity to get my feet back on the ground. And so when I had explained earlier, back in about 2015, that's when heaven started knocking again. That, Trisha, is when I started to get all those senses. The senses all came back online, and I was like, "Aha, okay, here we go.
Here we go. You're ready for the ride.
Yep,
We're about to go on a ride."
Yep.
Yeah, great question.
Right. Yes, and we did have one more. What do you think it means when you have a loved one that's passed and you have vivid dreams about them?
I'll let Jeffrey take it.
So, our loved ones on the other side absolutely come through in our dreams. That's a dream visitation. And, I explain to my people, not every dream about them is them visiting. Okay. There's a real sense about a true dream visitation. If you have a dream about your loved one on the other side where, you're feeling angsty and stress and sadness and grief in the dream, that's a dream. That's your own mind working through, processing through the grief, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And when your loved one is coming through in your dream, you wake up from that dream and it's you feel different. You feel like you sat down and actually spent a moment with them. You might not remember everything that was said, but that's okay. If you wake up and you have that feeling, don't second guess that. That is an absolute visitation. That's them coming through just to make themselves known to you. And it's awesome. I love those experiences.
Yeah, I tell my clients too, it would always be loving. If it's not loving, you're processing, your subconscious is processing stuff, maybe unresolved issues you guys had together. Like the brain is a powerful thing, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Super powerful. So dreams are tricky, but if it's loving and kind and it feels good, that's usually a visit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any more
Agreed.
questions? Yeah.
So I think we can kind of move into the
Want to do some
readings?
Yeah.
For people?
Yeah. We're going to just do some pull angel card readings for people. So in the last 20 minutes, gosh, it flew by so fast. Yeah.
It totally did.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah. I'm going to shuffle. And then Cassie, we can't see anything, so you can read the names if you want.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So, Tammy.
Whoa. Mahmood. Sorry if I butchered that. We're just going to say Tammy. Hi, Tammy. I'm going to pull a card for you. I would love a message. Thanks, Tammy. Okay, Tammy. So you got the dragon card, and really the dragon card is about discovering your own courage. So whatever you're kind of going through right now, and I know sometimes we like to please others. We are people pleasers, naturally, women, right? But the dragon's a reminder that you have your own ideas, your own values, your own instincts, and you need to dig down deep and discover your own courage. It has a lot to do with your throat chakra, if you know what any of that is, but speaking your truth, speaking what you need, speaking what your needs are to other people, and really just standing up for yourself and do what you want to do. I believe there are 2 things, and we make life really difficult, but there's 2 things that you should do. Well, number 1, be happy, and whatever that takes you to do, however it takes you there, be happy. And then number 2 is seeking unconditional love, to unconditional love and to receive unconditional love. Those are the 2 main things when you come to this earth to learn, right? We make it complicated. So go be happy.
It's so true. It's so true. And Tammy, the card that I got for you is divine order. And this card represents how everything is how it needs to be at this moment. But it's also asking you to let go of the illusion. So let go of what's not real. So like what Tracey was just talking about, finding that courage within. and recognizing that in this moment, you're feeling this tug from your soul. You're feeling this little nudge from your spirit, your guides, your guardians. Pay attention to those messages and wake up to your own personal worth.
Exactly. Good
Mhm.
job. Good
Mhm.
job.
All right. So, all right. Let's see.
Ready for the next one.
Let's go with Melody.
Hi, Melody. Okay, pull a card. Let me shuffle. All right.
Ooh, this is fun.
I love this part. Okay, Melody, you got choices. It's time to start making the best choices for you. So again, we as women are people pleasers, and we don't always make the best choices for us because we feel deeply. And I feel like you may even be an empath and you feel other people's energy, right? And so it's really hard for you to make choices for you because you want everybody else to be okay. And so this card just says it's time to be the goddess that you are and embrace that feminine energy and that feeling and make choices that are best for you, right? So if you're in a place of repeating patterns, identify those patterns and start making different choices so that you can live the best possible life. Remember, happiness and unconditional love. That's it. All right, Jeffrey.
Awesome. And the card from this side, in the card from California, is asking you to balance your career and your home life. So there's been some struggle with that. There's been some struggle with the balance between your work, finding work, looking for new work, and with regard to your family and your home life, and much like what Tracy was explaining, balance comes when we can stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and really pay attention to where we are in the moment, to be present with where we are. Balance happens in that moment where we can ground ourselves and just and in that moment feel where you are within yourself, your truth, where you want to be with regard to your career, where you want to be with regard to who you want to be for your family, for your boyfriend, for your husband, for your kids, all that kind of stuff. There's a balance and a steadiness between the two that must be found.
Beautiful.
Fair enough. And actually, I did go ahead and pull a card for this one as well. And it is the card that I pulled is empowerment. And it's the frequent, it's talking about empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in a deep trust that we are all connected through the same source.
Beautiful. Yeah. Loving it.
Sweet.
Let's do another one.
All right. Let's go with Whitney Harden.
Hi, Whitney. I'm a little lost trying to find my way. Anything for me? Yeah, absolutely. Hold on, Whitney. Oh. Okay. So, Whitney, here you go. I don't even need cards for you, Whitney. So I'm going to just go with it. Just tapping it in just a little bit. We are beings who are in control of our own destiny. Okay. We come to this planet, this earth plane, to learn lessons. We're a soul first, and we come here to learn lessons. I think with you keep repeating the lessons, or keep repeating, so you're not learning the lesson, right? And so when that happens, we feel so stuck and we feel like nothing's going our way. I'm a big believer in vibrational energy. And when we're depressed or when things are going bad, we tend to feel low. And when we feel low, guess what happens? We attract those lower vibrational things. Our car is breaking down, losing our job, not having money. Like all that is super low. What I want you to do is start working to raise your vibration, right? Choose happiness. And I know that's a cliche, but really tomorrow morning when you wake up, just be sick and tired of being sick and tired and choose to be happy. Regardless, right? Your happiness should come from the inside out and not from outside factors, not a man, not money, not food, not whatever. You need to come from an inside out place. And it's hard to do that. So what I would do starting tomorrow, anytime you have a negative thought, I want you to change it to a positive thought, right? I want you to start off the day in gratitude for everything and anything. Just do that every single day to get you out of this funk, right? The cards are saying it's time to follow your passion, but I know you're going to tell me, but I don't know what that is. So you can know every day, gratitude, find your thing, sit in meditation, right? Start to choose you. It also says it's time to start raising your standards. And there it goes about repeating patterns again, right? So you've got this, sweetie. You have to choose, right? I think the spirit world does this. Once you choose to make a difference, they will respond. Does that make sense? Yes.
Absolutely. Once we learn the lesson, we never have to repeat that lesson. And
Very true.
I want to encourage you, Whitney, to, when you are feeling down and stuck and in quicksand and you're just not quite sure which direction you're going, sometimes, meditation is difficult. But there's something that is called a moving meditation. So get outside and get into the fresh air. Take yourself on a walk. Take yourself on a walk. That is also a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Meditating is anything that really gets us out of this and focused into the now, into the present within ourselves. And put yourself into that space within yourself on a nice walk, on a run, whatever. Planting flowers can be meditating. Playing music is another big thing that I wanted to talk to you about. When you're feeling down and out, put on your most favorite music and just disappear into it and let that you can feel the vibrations rise within yourself. You get a little excited, you get chilly bumps, when you hear the song that really hits you right in the heart. Just go there and allow yourself. That is also a way to connect with your spirit guides and your guardian angels. And once you can get to that place where you're open and sensitive and surrendered, messages start coming through, boom, 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 and you'll be given some divine inspiration, and that will be your answer as to which direction to go.
I have to most of us have come from that space. I just have to tell you, most mediums have come from that space. So I want you to see what on the other side of healing looks like. That's what you're looking at right here. It's on the other side of taking your healing journey. That's where the happiness lies. Okay, so there you go.
And the card that I did pull with that as well, it's the card for alchemy, and it says alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that allows us to access and to perform the miracles of transmutation.
Beautiful. Oh, I got chills.
So, our next reading is actually going to be for a daughter of one of our listeners, and
7-year-old, huh? Oh,
yeah. So we've got Donna, and we're going to be reading for her 7-year-old Kaylee.
Okay. All right. Ready? I pulled 2 cards for her since she's a 7-year-old. The first one, seek knowledge. So do good in school, right? We've got that. So funny. But the second one is intuition. So I don't know if she has her own intuition. I don't know if she's a sensitive child and she sees things or hears things, or you're having a difficulty just kind of understanding her. But I got the intuition card that she may be a little bit gifted. So if she's falling on the sensitive side, just know you have to kind of baby that a little bit and encourage that a little bit and to embrace her little gifts, right? She could be a little bit of a little baby empath too. But giving her knowledge about this kind of life, giving her knowledge about this kind of world will help. That's probably why the seek knowledge card came up too. And so just encourage her, right? Encourage her that she's not alone. A lot of little people are just like her. Okay, there you go.
It's very true, and it's very cool because I pulled 2 cards for her too because she's 7 and a little sweet pea. But listen, I got ideas and inspiration, ties in with the seek knowledge and the intuition and divine guidance. Guidance. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, I too am feeling that little Kaylee is dialed in, and that was going to be my suggestion as well. Really do your best to nurture that within her. Don't be afraid of it. Don't nurture that in a way where she's not afraid of it. It's really a beautiful piece of who we are, every single one of us. And the truth is, all of us were open when we were that young. We just lost it to social conditioning and, growing up and being told that it's not real or whatever. But yeah, there's a real sweet, sensitive side to little Kaylee. And I would love to encourage you to really nurture that aspect within her.
Yeah. No fear.
And right. And the card that I pulled is the solar plexus card. I don't know if you could see it, but it's bright orange like the sun. I love it. But the solar plexus supports our sense of self, our power, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole.
Good job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Enjoy. Good luck to her.
Yeah, thank you, Donna.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So, all right, we've got like time, I think, for like 1 or 2 more reads. And our next one is going to be Brittany Tomey.
Brittany's home. I love you, Brittany. I had a card just fall out. So I know Brittany, I've given her a reading before. So I'm going to pull 2 cards because that one jumped out at me. And then I'll tell you what it was in a second. All right. Brittany, ready? Opportunity knocks. You are on your path. They are here. They are knocking. And I just to prove it, I'll show you Opportunity Knocks is the card that fell out of the deck at me. So you can thank your mama for that. But Opportunity Knocks, it's time to go for it. It's time to embrace this new path that you're on and not be afraid of it and do what you got to do to move forward in it. You have, the other card I got was 7 Heavenly Virtues. So it says to you, you got the keys to goodness. So again, remember how I talked that most of us have come from a really broken space? That's you, and you're getting on the other side of it, and you've started this beautiful journey. And don't give up. Whatever you do, you just keep going day after day after day after day. Here's your confirmation. You're on the right path. All right. Go, Jim.
So this is really crazy. I totally shuffled the cards. I got the exact 2 cards for Brittany.
Oh, wow.
So Brittany, I want to say the same thing, echoing what Tracy just said. You are being guided with divine ideas, divine messages. You're being nudged by your spirit. So coming out of where you've come out of the difficult space, you're just coming to the other side of that. And the guidance, you're always guided. Trust in that and surrender to your spirit, to your soul, and know that when you open up to that space within yourself, it's real when you feel the chilly bumps on your skin. It's real when you feel the warmth on the inside, and you start to feel that little inspiration. You feel it bubble up from your insides. Pay attention to those. It's awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. You got a card, Cass?
I do. It's Universal Love.
Aww.
And Universal Love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself.
Beautiful.
All right.
More?
Awesome.
I think we got time for one more reading.
Okay.
Let's see. Judy Hunt.
Hi, Judy. She would love a card. All right, Judy, you got it. Oh. Okay, ready? Here we go. So the first card I got for you was the dream card, Judy. So dreams, it's time to believe in your dreams. And I'm not just talking about dreams you get, but dreams you have, right? It's time to start manifesting those. I am a big manifester. If nobody's listening to Esther Hicks, you need to be listening to Esther Hicks every single day. That way you can just take control of your life and you can manifest the life you've always dreamt about, right? And so follow your dreams. What is it you've been wanting to do? What is it that you know, you always thought you weren't good enough for? What is that thing that you told yourself you could never do, or that you were never good enough for? And that goes right along with the next card that I got. It says it's the competition card, but really it says summon the courage and your own self-confidence. So I think right now you struggle with that. Like, I'm not good enough. Oh, why would I do that? That can't be me. And I want you to change the way you talk about that. I want you to change that. I want you to say, absolutely, I could do that. I absolutely am worthy of that. Summons that deep inside of you, that confidence and that courage to do the things you've been wanting to do for so long, right? It's not too late. It's never too late. I became a medium at 45, right? So I know a medium who started at 75. It's never too late to follow your dreams. All right, there you go.
It's true. And as Tracy was talking about follow your dreams and what are your dreams, the card that came out for you is brilliant idea. So I have a sneaky suspicion you know what you want to do, and there just might be a little bit of a hesitation, not quite sure if you know what to do next, or like Tracy was saying, am I good enough, or is now the right time, or maybe now is not the right time. And you know, it is a brilliant idea. What you've been called to do. So follow through with that coming from your heart. Make that crystal clear intention within yourself, and just take baby steps. Just take baby steps. You don't have to be your end all be all by next weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's way too much pressure, way too much stress to put on yourself. So just take a breath, follow what you feel from your inside. You've been given the message that it is a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea, being inspired from spirit. And yeah, just take some baby steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's awesome.
Awesome. It's kind of, so I shuffled my deck and I got the exact same card.
Did you? Yeah.
I got the universal love card again. So again, it's just that connection to each other, but also the universal love also connects to you too. So I think the part of that connects to this reading is more just like making sure that that love that you give out to everybody else actually does come back to you too.
Yeah. Unconditional love in, unconditional love back. That's how it works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yes. What a fun show. Did you enjoy it?
Thank you. This has been a blast.
Yeah. Tell everybody where they can find you. Just say it.
You can find me on Facebook at Jeffrey Peck Medium. You can find me on Instagram at Jeffrey Peck Medium. You can find me at my website, jeffreypeck.com. That's JEFFREYPEC.com. And is there anything else, Tracy? Did I forget anything?
It.
I think that's
I'm not going down the list.
Give out my phone number.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yes. Anything, Cass? Like, we had a great time. Thank you for being on our show.
No,
we are a baby show, so we appreciate you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been an absolute blast. You guys are awesome, and I can see this absolutely going places.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fun. So with that, are we out?
I think we're out.
We're
I think we're out.
All right.
Until we see each other again.
Joining us, and we'll see you next time.
You guys next time.
Bye everybody.
All right, bye.